Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will report the amendment.
Amendment number 6.
I ask unanimous consent to dispense with the reading of the amendment. Without objection, so ordered. I recognize Mr. Waltz for 5 minutes to explain his amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. My amendment allows NASA to use its procurement contracts to acquire commodities and services to meet not only NASA requirements, but also, importantly, those requirements of private, commercial, and non-federal government users of NASA centers. There's precedent for this policy within the federal government. My amendment is parallel to the authorities that the Department of Defense possesses under Title 10 of the U.S. Code. It also builds off current law, which allows NASA to sell commodities and facilities to non-federal partners, but only if they are deemed in excess. This amendment expands that authority to the procurement process, which would create an efficiency for NASA and reduce costs for the taxpayer. And I view this as complementary to the evolving relationship between NASA and private partners, many of which have a growing presence at NASA centers. This is an important relationship that's driving competition and technological advancement. This policy has been recommended by NASA, reviewed by OMB, and submitted to this committee for consideration. The same language was introduced by Senators Rubio, Rick Scott, and Cornyn in the Senate and included in the Senate authorization during the Commerce Committee markup. However, although this policy has been socialized and reviewed, this amendment underscores my concerns with the timing and the process of this markup. So since the timing did not allow for a legitimate and thorough dialogue between the majority and minority on this amendment, my understanding is that the chairwoman is requesting me to withdraw the amendment and has committed to working with me on a compromise of this policy at the full committee level. With that assurance from the chairwoman, I withdraw the amendment, not due to policy concerns, but to provide more time to reach an agreement. And thank you, Ranking Members Lucas and Babin, for liaising these conversations. I withdraw my amendment, and I yield my time.
Thank you, Mr. Waltz. Look forward to working with you as well on your amendment so that we can